Hey guys, so welcome to my kitchen. Today we are making a hearty Irish stew in lieu of St. Paddy's Day tomorrow. So it's best that you actually watch this because stews do take hours and hours and hours to make really nice. However, I'm going to show you, which is slightly different to the recipe that I've got, how to do it really quickly. It's all around the cut of the meat. So in my recipe that is posted with it is the long sort of slow cooked or in the oven for a couple of hours type recipe. However, with this cut of meat, I think that you could probably do it in an hour. So if you have left it to last minute to get your Irish stew happening, then you need to just watch straight ahead and comment, ask any questions, give us your pointers because I'm using different vegetables, etc. Let us know what vegetables you have. Ben's watching behind the camera, so he can yell at me if need be. So anyway, hearty Irish stew. I am putting Guinness in this one, so be aware. I'm also using potatoes. I'm going to throw some mushrooms in. I didn't have that in my list of vegetables to use. They were going a little bit old and floppy in the fridge, so I thought chuck some of them in. Only thing with mushrooms is do remember that you have to use a little bit more salt. So this is all about tasting. I am using a bit of pumpkin, some really coarsely chopped up carrots. I like my stews quite chunky, so that's completely up to you. Of course, the smaller you chop them, the quicker they'll cook. Some celery. I think celery is really important. Now you could put onion in there, however I'm going to serve this to a friend who can't eat onions, so I'm doing that a little bit differently. But a bit of onion in there is nice. We're also using Mrs. Rogers bay leaves and caraway seeds. Now I have not cooked with caraway seeds before, but it actually gives a really nice sort of earthy flavour in the background. I want to show you what I've done. So this is my finished meal. However, I have used neck chops, although that's not what the supermarket called them. They were called something else. So that's the shape you want to look at. I'll show you the raw ones soon, but obviously I don't want to touch raw with, you know, cooked meat. And my dad actually prefers with the bone in served on the plate, but I want to show you that it's not hard to, especially with a neck chop, to just cut that meat straight off. So if your family don't like chewing on the bones afterwards, use a neck chop because you can most definitely cut the meat off fairly easily.
We've just had Sarah join us. Hi Sarah.
Hey Sarah, how are you?
How's Friday going?
Welcome to this awesome Irish stew. Now I'm just
we didn't run the little intro video thing.
Oh, we didn't?
So why don't we just run that little intro video now, and then we'll come right back to you. So intro
cool.
video coming up in 2 seconds.
So I'm just putting some oil in here and I've got it set on a medium heat. Now this is my new fry pan, everybody. My other fry pan was annoying me because it was sticking everywhere. So I'm just wanting to heat that oil, and what I actually want to do is put the caraway seeds in because the caraway seeds need to release that flavour, and if we do it at this stage, good old trusty spoon, we do it at this stage, that flavour is just going to flow through the entire stew. So I'm just wanting to get some heat through there.
Now what was everyone doing for we talked about yesterday about doing stuff for St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah.
So we're having a potluck dinner.
We are.
And this is going to be one of the recipes that we're potlucking. Although Kirsty discovered that a lot of our friends actually didn't know what a potluck dinner was.
Yeah, so does everybody know what a potluck dinner is? Even you were sort of, well, Ben behind the camera, even he was like, well, don't you have to say whether it's dinner or pudding or nibbles? And I'm like, nope, that's why it's potluck. Yeah. It literally is potluck.
So if everyone turns up with a dessert,
we're eating pudding.
We're eating pudding.
the whole time.
Okay.
Now I have put my bay leaves in there as well. That's starting to sizzle and pop quite nicely.
Oh, people will notice that we did get a new pan.
Yes.
People who've watched this before.
Yes, I have a new frying pan. It means I don't have to use as much oil. It was cheaper than the other one that I complained about, and my thermostat was put on, but I like this one.
Very nice pan.
We've gone from silver and sparkly to black and glittery. Now, I want to talk to you about meat. I'm doing lamb because it's lamb.
It's lamb. Lamb.
Who doesn't like lamb?
I like lamb.
And these are a neck chop. Now, these are going to give you a flavour. So there's a bone in the middle there.
Are they cheaper than normal?
They are really cheap.
Yeah.
They're a lot cheaper, and they actually have a lot of meat. See, look at all the meat.
Look at all the meat.
Look at all the meat, and it's just that tiny
show it to
little,
the camera. Show
little
the camera
bone.
over there. You can
Okay,
get
so
a shot of that.
Look at all
Down
that
a little bit.
meat
There you go.
that you can morishly nibble around the bone.
Yep.
So it's really important. There is a little small part of sinew. Just let me show you on that camera. See that little
bit in the middle.
right bit there? That's a bit of sinew, but some people like to chew on that, especially older folks. So yeah, neck chops or stewing chops or something like that is what this is. But the meat is beautiful and tender and lovely. So we're just going to pop that in.
Yep.
Now,
Shizzle.
this, if you are using neck chops, you probably do need to cook it for around the 2 hours.
Yep.
Whether you leave it in here, put it in your slow cooker, or chuck it in the oven, you need to do this stage, because browning the meat is so important, because that's what helps with the flavour. Now, I've also got just some diced lamb that I'm going to pop in. Which wasn't as cheap, everybody.
Yeah, but if you dice it, it's going to go further.
But if you dice it, it's going to go further, and I am bulking it out. But I just wanted to show that if you wanted to do it quickly, don't use the neck chops, use diced lamb, and just do this cooking process. Just got to wash my hands, everybody. They're sticky. And
I saw a couple of angry faces come across the screen there. I don't know what we're angry about.
Oh, what are we angry about?
So you have to let us know.
Oh no, I don't want to upset anybody.
Bronwyn's here though, watching from Tauranga. Hey Bronwyn, how you going?
Maybe it was angry that about my fry pan.
Oh yeah, could have been.
Could have been about my bad fry pan.
Yeah, we'll take it as that.
My dodgy fry pan. I'm going to take it as that, because I don't want to be offended.
No.
So we're just wanting to up that a little bit so that you can hear the sizzle. Sizzling meat.
Bronwyn says hi back. Bronwyn, what are you doing for St. Paddy's Day?
What are you doing for St. Paddy's Day?
Exciting? Yeah, not sure. We're having potluck dinner and drinking some Guinness.
We're having a potluck dinner at home, which will be nice. Now, you can hear that sizzling. I'm trying very hard not to turn the meat too quickly, because if I move it too much, I'm going to lose that nice brown on the outside. So I'm just waiting for it. I might just sneak a peek at one of the... Ooh. No, see, no. Just wait.
Someone's going to go to the local pub. She's pubbing it.
Nice.
Hold on. I've been telling for ages. Ages and ages and ages.
Yeah, we haven't... Well, it's because we've got 3 kids and no babysitter.
Yeah, that works too.
So, that doesn't help.
It doesn't help with the getting places. No, that's all right.
So, I am also using, just so you know, some beef stock and some Guinness. So that is going to be our liquid. And I'm going to use, obviously, Mrs. Rogers salt and pepper to season it closer to the end, because it really depends on what vegetables you pop in to how much you need to season it. If by chance, here's a little sneaky tint.
Sneaky
that was
tint?
like trick and hint all together.
Sneaky tint.
So it's a tint. Here's a hint. If you over salt anything, put some mushrooms in, because mushrooms actually need a lot of salt for flavour, and it will draw some of the salt out. Or you can use potato as well, same kind of thing.
And they don't take up mushroom.
And they don't take up mushroom.
Hashtag dad joke.
Hashtag bad dad joke.
Bad dad joke.
Okay, I'm starting to get a little bit of colour on this.
Nice.
So I'm just going to turn the little bits first. And some of those caraway seeds are sticking nicely to the meat.
Nice. So Liesel's asked a question. She said, alternative of lamb, please. Could you use beef? Because an Irish stew is new to her.
Absolutely. You can use beef.
Good question,
100%. Traditionally Irish stew. But to be honest, who really cares?
Yeah.
Because I'm
Well,
only
you're saying before, lamb's quite expensive.
lamb can be very expensive, but so can beef. So just go with whatever you can from a price point of view. Absolutely.
Yep. You'd have to change the cooking.
You wouldn't have to do anything. And in fact, if you use beef, if you are happy to do a long, slow process, either in your slow cooker or the oven, you can get away with something like chuck steak or those sorts of cuts, which are better for slow cooking.
Yep.
But we like lamb.
Oh, it's smelling really nice.
So I'm starting to get a little bit of colour there. I'm actually flipping this guy because the sinew's retracted.
Yep.
And I'm not going to get any more colour.
Yum.
So, yummy.
You can see in the top of the screen there, that's our final product.
Yes, so this is our final product for those who have just joined us. This is the lamb. I'm going to have a little bit of carrot.
A little bit of carrot, but the flavours go through. That's lovely.
Yum.
So yesterday we made Guinness
chocolate brownies.
Chocolate brownies, and I don't think there's any left. So you can watch back the live, and we'll pop that up on YouTube as well.
We also had the last two. So we had the Guinness chocolate brownies, and what did I do? Oh, the fluffy omelette. You've got to watch the ultimate omelette. That is awesome. But we've got competitions going on those lives. So if you just have a look back, you can absolutely still enter. Both are open until next Wednesday. So you have to like and share and comment. Both are different commenting, so just see how you go.
So just watch back on those lives and
have a look back.
Do that.
Now I'm just going to pull out my nearly cooked.
Those are your lamb pieces. Oh no, those are the big bits. You're taking it all out.
I'm taking it all out. All out. And I'm wanting to turn the temperature right down.
In the new fancy pan.
In my new fancy pants pan. Now the recipe I've said 2 to 3 bay leaves. However, when I opened my Mrs. Rogers packet of bay leaves, mine were quite small. So my 2 to 3 bay leaves are around this size. So I actually used around 8, I think it was. So just judge. Just judge what you like, what you don't like. Obviously leave in or out.
Redneck says hello to the Rednecks.
Now, flour.
Well, what are we doing now?
A little bit of flour, and we just want to...
Is this a thickener?
Stir it. This is your thickener.
Thickener.
Now, if you wanted a really quick thickener, you can use corn flour, obviously. Or if you are serving someone who needs to be low gluten, corn flour is the go. So as you can see by doing this, not only am I able to push all of the bumps out, but I'm also able to catch all of those lovely caraway seeds.
Yeah, yum.
So,
looks really nice.
Okay, now I've got some beef stock here.
Beef stock goes in.
Beef stock goes in.
Now, did you make that, or is that just store-bought stuff?
Now, this is store-bought stuff.
Yeah, that's all
but the runny store-bought stuff. But if you are fancy pants enough and you have time, absolutely make your own beef stock.
Now, if you don't have time to watch this video, then please come back, because it is a bit of a long one. I'm not sure how much longer.
It's not too long.
Oh, it's not too long.
It's not too long.
Okay.
Just keep watching.
Okay, sorry everybody, you're not allowed to leave. You actually have to keep
just hungry.
watching.
He wants to eat the leftovers.
I can see the stuff at the front there.
So this was the hardest part, trying to get your mixture not to be globuly.
Doesn't look globuly.
It's not globuly. There's a few bits in there, but they're chunky bits of the stock and the meat. I think that's a bit of pan goo. So you're wanting to soak all that pan goo, all that flavour off the bottom.
Yeah.
Now, we're wanting to return our meat. Try not to slop it everywhere. She says as she slops it everywhere.
That's life.
And wanting to bring it back up to a medium, well, sort of medium to low temperature.
Yep.
And now we are going to pop in our carrots.
Oh, these will miss the brownies. You have to. Yep, we have to rewatch that later.
You can watch it.
Yep,
It's
you can.
there. So carrots.
Carrots.
We got some celery in
and watch
there.
watch the omelette as well. That was really cool.
The omelette. And some pumpkin.
Pumpkin goes in. Pumpkining.
You could put some beans in here or anything.
Is everyone starting their St. Paddy's Day early? Because it's essentially you can have it as a Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Friday, Saturday night. It's going to be full on.
Kids have got a disco tonight, so we won't be doing that for us. But
no,
that's all right.
So, and my mushies.
Mushrooms.
So it's all in there. Now I'm just wanting to give it a sort of a stir.
Now this is a reason they call it a hearty Irish stew.
Hearty Irish stew, because its nutritional value is extreme.
Stuff in it.
Now, if you wanted to, if meat is really expensive for you and you can only afford a little bit, just bulk it out with more potatoes or vegetables or
anything like that. Lorraine's just joined us. She says, have we been on a cruise yet? No, Lorraine, that's not until July.
July. We were so excited about it.
So excited. We're well planning ahead.
We have itemised what we need.
Thank you for remembering, Lorraine.
Yeah.
That's good.
Itemised what we need on the cocktail list specifically.
Oh, it's actually, it's not just the cocktail list, it's the dressing up for the theme events.
Yeah.
So now we've got a white party to plan for, we've got a Gatsby party to plan for.
Gatsby party, there's a formal, there's a back to school, and there's one other and I can't think of what it is.
Lying down somewhere.
Lying down, drinking a cocktail party.
Yes,
so anyway, guys, that is pretty much it. So at that stage, you either want to pop it in the oven, put it in your slow cooker, or pretend like this device is your slow cooker. Or I was really successful by doing it in my fry pan, as you can see. So you just want to leave that stirring every half an hour for a good sort of 1 hour, and then taste your sauce and see how you're going. Make sure it's not drying out too much. If you need to add a little bit of water, which is why I've got this here, if you need to add a bit of water, absolutely do. We want that sauce to stay not thick until closer to the end. We've got our Guinness in there. It's smelling divine.
How much Guinness did you add?
It was around a cup.
A cup of Guinness.
About a cup of Guinness.
Okay,
Guinness. So
and that's going to take out, the alcohol's going to burn off.
The alcohol will burn off, and again, we will just have that lovely flavour. So every time you come to get a So that's it. Hearty beef stew, depending on what cut of meat you're using, depends on how quickly you can cook it. If you're just using straight out diced stuff, it really doesn't matter. But yeah, it'll cook quicker and longer, but the longer you cook it, the more tender your meat's going to be.
Now, we've just lost one of the cameras because a phone call came in. So you've got the downward facing camera.
Okay.
So everyone's just looking at, you could look up at them. And
I can look up at you, and I'm going to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And,
on the downward facing camera, and we'll just see. Does it sound nice? That's a little bit weird. A little bit of a weird shot to end the Facebook Live with. But
do I look skinny?
Well, you look weird because you're leaning in. But everyone have a lovely
St. Paddy's
Day. And we will see you.
Give it a go.
Very soon.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.